it is now hot seat season.
Oh, it is.
It's roaring into hot seat season, and we're going to talk about that right now. I am James Yoder. This is Tom Downey. You are watching College Football Now. Tom, speaking of someone who's not in the hot seat because he hasn't even coached a game yet, but Les Miles, the new coach at Kansas, it seems like.
He is reportedly finalizing a deal to become the Kansas head coach. And I think worth mentioning as well here, James, is that in the past couple of days, Les Miles agreed to a buyout settlement with LSU.
It was a buyout of his buyout.
Yes, it was a buyout of his buyout. They agreed to, say we're going to waive some of this extra money here because sounds like Les Miles, James, is going to become your next Kansas head coach. What do you think?
I think it's a great move. I mean, he's not that old. I was just pulling up to find out he is 65 years old. So I think he's younger than Nick Saban is. I know Saban's well into his Alabama tenure, but he has success, Tom, in the Big 12. He was at Oklahoma State before LSU. He had success. They beat Oklahoma back-to-back years when Oklahoma was ranked in the top 1, 2, 3 in the country when they were national championship contenders. So I think Les Miles is the kind of recruiter, and they didn't call him loose morals for nothing, Tom. He can give a few shortcuts to get maybe little bags under the table. I'm not making any accusations, but I think he can get Kansas to a respectable 8-4, 7-5, 9-3, not this 1-11 stuff they've been pulling within 2 or 3 years.
Thought all the bagmen focus on basketball for KU.
Well, they do, and they're going to transfer right over into football very easily. Tom, if this comes true, as far as we know, we're going live now. We have not had a contract signed yet, of course. But what do you grade this? A, B, C, D?
For Kansas, it's an A.
Yeah.
For me, for Les Miles, it's kind of a question mark.
But he's back in the game, baby.
But I would rather take the Colorado job if I was Les Miles. I'd rather retire there than retire in Kansas.
Former Colorado assistant, Tom, so that made a lot of sense, right? He has a lot of familiarity with there. He coached the offensive line there for 5 seasons, 82 to 86. A guy who will not be coaching, at least in my opinion, his school there in the Pac-12 next year is Clay Helton from USC. Tom, they fall 5-6 on the year. This is just like USC football, even UCLA football, is kind of like a lot of these Pac-12 schools. I just don't understand how they can't recruit at the highest levels. How is Arizona not good at football? How is USC not consistent? How are they not Alabama?
USC has recruited well. Based on the rankings, they have recruited well. And the fact that they're 5-6 this year, that's a clear sign that the coaching and player development has not been good enough.
His career at USC is basically like a carbon copy of Brady Hoke at Michigan. It's like, who else wanted to hire Clay Helton as their head coach when USC hired him? The answer was absolutely no one of any circumstance.
Of the major programs.
Yeah, no one was going to hire Clay Helton, just like Brady Hoke back in the day. And no one will hire him after he gets fired, probably in a week from now. So I didn't understand this hire at the time. I know it's more of the same for them. It's Pete Carroll's guys just keep getting. It's 3 straight guys who have failed, who are Pete Carroll's guys or came from that lineage. Let's take a look, Tom, at the candidates for the USC job. Should Helton get fired probably within a week from now, after they probably lose their final game of the year. So
our original 10 here.
We've got Hugh Jackson. We've got Chris Richard,
USC player.
Exactly. Matt Wells. And this is where we start getting some bigger names from college football. Matt Campbell from Iowa State. I think he would make the best fit personally of these names that we've got going on.
Unless he wants to stay in the Ohio area.
For sure. You remember what happened
2 jobs that could be open.
Kyle Whittingham, another guy who has had some success in the Pac-12. Certainly, I think would be a guy who could right the ship in USC over at Utah, just kind of shifting over Pac-12 South. Let's get into the top 5, Tom. We'll start with number 1 there at the top, Chris Peterson.
This is your guy.
From Washington. I think he'd be an absolute home run. He's done wonders in Washington, kind of program that was in the abyss for 15 years and done basically nothing. And we saw what he did at Boise State, his prior stop there. So I think he would be a home run. I don't know if he makes the move in conference, but I think he would be able to have the highest level of success. They've got 1 playoff appearance, 2015 at Washington, have not been able to replicate it. I think he could have the highest level of success at USC in college football. Of any coach on this list. Pete Carroll's an interesting one. Time. He's almost 70, but could he come back? Jack Del Rio.
The swan song.
Jack Del Rio, USC alum. It's been rumored there really for like 20 years, I swear he has. But Dino Babers is another interesting name, Tom. He's made some nice things happen at Syracuse. Didn't get the job done. Had they beat Notre Dame yesterday, he could have rocketed up to number 1 on his list because, hey, you beat Notre Dame, you might make sense at USC.
I think it's weird for USC because where are the Pac-12 coaches? Like, where are those West Coast coaches that have the logical next step? Chris Peterson and
Sure.
Nobody really.
Tom,
I think Jack
theory?
Del Rio makes a lot of sense.
Conspiracy theory for number 2, Wilton Speight, UCLA quarterback, beat USC, secure the job going to be opening. Harbaugh sent him out there to UCLA to beat USC to open the job up for his brother. Conspiracy theory, heard it here first. Let's take it though, Tom, to look at the hot board basically. Who are the guys that are going to be fired or likely to get fired in college football? Number 1 on the list, Tom, Clay Helton, USC. He's got to go. It's been a disaster. They are the bluest of the blue bloods in college football. You cannot be going 5-6, maybe 5-7. No. Mike MacIntyre, Colorado. Chris Ash over at Rutgers. Larry Fedora, UNC. And then Kliff Kingsbury at Texas Tech, who lost to Kansas State yesterday. One interesting kind of second conspiracy theory here, Tom. How would you like this? Chris Ash, former Ohio State defense coordinator, who's the defense coordinator now, and of course is Greg Schiano, former Rutgers coach.
Go back to Rutgers.
They might just swap jobs, Tom. They might swap jobs. Ash gets fired, goes back to Ohio State if Urban Meyer's still the coach there, and then Schiano takes the head coaching job back at Rutgers.
Fedora and MacIntyre, interestingly enough, are very much on the similar path. It wasn't that long ago that they were up-and-coming coaches. Fedora, 11-3 in 2015, has now gone 8-5, 3-9, 2-8. He's fallen apart. MacIntyre, 10-4 in 2016, but has never made a bowl game outside of that year at Colorado.
Really good year, Tom. That 2016
that defense was great.
Colorado was a really
Maybe
strong
it was all
team.
Jim Leavitt.
Maybe it was. Maybe it was. Now at Oregon, right?
Oregon, D.C., yep.
Tom, you know what I love? I love betting on college football, and with these college football hot seats, I can predict maybe that you're going to have some odds on who's going to get these jobs. I'm going to be putting some cash on those. I'm going to do it with Bet DSI. I'm going to put some money on NFL today. I've just decided in my mind. Went 3-2 yesterday in college football, Tom. I've had like 9 out of my last 10 weeks I've been winning. Bet DSI is where we make our bets. 120% deposit bonus. You put down 100, 120 free. Put down 500, Tom. $600 free in your account to bet with BetDSI. Chatsports.com/bet. Promo code LIVE120. You got to use the promo code to get the 120% deposit bonus with BetDSI.